You want to be a young boss, but your sales are stuck. You're burned out trying to find the right people, and you end up doing all of the work yourself. You're bleeding money, and you're fighting to keep your business afloat. I've been there. I'm Isabel Guarino, and I've scaled businesses to millions, and I've watched ideas burn to the ground. And I know exactly what it takes to survive and win. This is Young Boss, the podcast that helps you break through the barriers standing between you and the business you deserve, where youth is your power. It's now or never. That's what Elina told herself the day she got laid off from her tech job with 2 weeks of severance and zero backup plan. She didn't have a product, she didn't have experience, but she had a doodle and a dream and a burning need to make something hers. So she picked an audience, dog owners like her, and decided to solve their biggest pain point, tangled, matted fur. What started as a single detangler spray became Dude Woof, a 7-figure brand built through social media grit, transparency, and community. Her youth made her stand out and made people doubt her, but instead of pretending to be an expert, she built credibility in public, documenting the wins and the mistakes. From tech layoff to TikTok rocket ship, Elina's now or never moment became proof that sometimes losing your job is exactly what frees you to build your dream, one post, one product, and one believer at a time. All right, welcome to the show, Elina. So excited to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
I want to hear everything about Dude Woof. Listen, I just got a Bernedoodle this past year, and they are very different than the Frenchies I have had in the past. So tell us everything about the brand, how you got started. I want to hear it all.
Definitely. I also have a Bernedoodle who's on the floor behind me.
Oh, there you go.
In the same club. He happens to be the CEO of the company too. So I thought I should plug that.
That's precious.
So 2023, got laid off from my job, had no idea what I was going to do. I had like 2 weeks of severance. And I picked up this book, and I always had this entrepreneurial bug in me, but I never, like my family immigrated here from Ukraine, and I never really saw anyone being an entrepreneur. So I didn't even know that that was like a possible path for me. But when I got laid off, I took that as a sign from the universe, like, okay, if I'm ever going to do something, it's going to be right now. And so I had no idea what product I was going to create, though, or really any ideas. So I picked up this book, and the book talked about choose an audience that you're going to serve and then pick a product or service that serves that audience. So I was like, okay, I could do that. So I looked at my dog, and because I didn't have money for paid ads because I was laid off, I was like, all right, I think me and Oscar can make some content together. And so that's how I chose the doodle niche. And then from there, skip a few, but I created products that specifically serve the pain points of doodle owners.
That's amazing. I actually love this origin stories because it didn't start with the product. It actually started with the vision to become an entrepreneur and saying, well, how can I achieve that lifestyle? What can I do? Being in a product-based business can be challenging in its own right. So did you have any background or experience with selling and bringing something to market in this sense?
No, I was in tech. I was a project manager. So I learned e-commerce, and the ChatGPT had just come out. So that was my new best friend. And I was like messaging it. Okay, what do I say to a manufacturer? What are questions I need to ask them on a call? How do I even find a manufacturer? What should I do next? But I just kind of learned as I went.
That's amazing. And how did you fund this business in the beginning? Because if you just lost your job, I feel like that is a very scary moment to say, well, I've got to turn this around quickly before I need to go pick something else up, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I self-funded it. So I had some savings. I cashed out my 401k. And so because e-com, you have to buy inventory up front. So that's like a pretty big expense. But definitely to your point, like, I had to make this work. So what I did was I chose a product. I asked people in my audience, like, what's your biggest challenge of having a doodle? And the number one challenge was that they get matted and tangled easily. And so I created a product that it was the best detangler spray on the market. It was a detangler spray and it was the best one on the market. and it was marketed towards doodles. So I knew that people actually needed this product. And so from there, I call it documenting my journey, but I went on Instagram and I would just document everything. Like I branded myself as someone that had no idea what they were doing, but all the other detangler sprays on the market were filled with chemicals and ingredients I can't pronounce, like harsh chemicals. And so I wanted to create something that was way more natural and the best. And so I started building an audience on purpose so that when I actually launched the product, I had people that I could sell to.
This is amazing. So social media has played a big role in marketing and getting the word out there about the brand. Do you feel like, is that still one of the best places where you're getting customers and just notice on what you guys are doing?
Social media is great. I think that I was thinking about this recently, and I think that, well, obviously now we have money for paid ads, which is also great because you can it's just at a bigger scale. But
yeah,
it's still social media, but as you actually have a product that has credibility, I think that working with influencers is super, super important and actually de-risks your business, because when you're only posting on your own account, you really only have like your one account that has to show to people, versus if you have a bunch of influencers talking about you, like that's so much more opportunity for people to see your business. So It's still social media. It's just a different approach a bit.
Are you guys in stores right now?
No, we're all 80% Amazon, 15% TikTok shop, and then 5% on my website.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk TikTok, because I think that a lot of brands start on Instagram and don't really know and understand how to make that shift to TikTok. So when TikTok came out, were you like, oh yeah, let me jump on this, let me do it right away? Basically,
but it took me a year after I decided because of all these technical issues. But regardless, once I got on there, it's a TikTok shop it's like a rocket ship, I would say, where it's really hard to get off the ground because there's so many people that are like trying to do this. But a lot of people give up. And so once you're like in orbit though, all these it becomes easier because all these influencers start reaching out to you because they see that on their dashboard that your product is selling. They're seeing some of the videos that other people are creating, and they're like, oh, okay, I can make a similar video to this. So it becomes a lot easier if you can just push through that beginning piece.
That's great advice for anyone here who has a product that they're looking to get out there, because I do think that's exactly what happens. It is kind of hard to get that first product out there. But once it is, we all see these things catch on like wildfire. You never even hear of a product, and then you have 15 influencers on your page promoting the same thing. And it's like, well, if 15 of them want it, I want it too, So it becomes such an easy buy right there.
Yeah. It definitely.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it definitely helps to have a good product. You definitely want that. And if anyone's thinking about getting on TikTok Shop, it works best if you have a product that doesn't cost that much to make. So if you have like a $50 stroller, that might be hard because the play is you send it out to a ton of people. So it's a bit hard to send like a more expensive product to make to a bunch of people. So it's really good for a bit like lower cost products.
Yep. I love that. Okay. So you used your own money to do this. Then as you kind of had proof of concept, have you just been reinvesting profits? And what does that look like into the future?
Yeah. So when I started it, yes, it was a big risk, but I was trying to de-risk it. So I would get samples from the manufacturer and I would go to my list and be like, would anyone try this? And so I would have them help me with product development, which served two things. First, I got them involved in the journey, so they were really invested in it. And I knew that those people, at least those like 20 people would buy. And then also I got feedback directly from my audience. So when I launched the product, you never know 100%, but I assume that like 85% chance I would at least sell through once. So then after that, the best thing I ever did was really, really understand the numbers of my business, because what it allowed me to do was allowed me to take calculated risks, which in my case looked like inventory financing and certain debt. But I you can only do that if you really know your numbers and understand, like, if I take this much debt at this percent, but if I buy like way more inventory, then the cost of each product will decrease. And so essentially it covers the debt. And you only want to do that for things that you know are already moving and going, not for new products.
Have you ever gone in on a product and it just flopped?
No. Knock on wood.
No? Oh, yeah. Good, girl. You're a good buyer then.
I ask I don't assume anything. I ask my audience what they want, and then I bring them on the journey of creating it. So it's like, if they don't like it, like, I'm not releasing it, you know?
Yeah, I think that's great. So have you then had products where you asked for the help, the feedback was it's a no-go, and you haven't gone that direction?
Well, we only have 2 products, and the answer is no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting, because I wonder if in the future you would get a product and, you know, you do the same methodology and then they're like, hey, no, this doesn't work, or we don't like it, or smells bad, or whatever the case is, you know?
Hopefully, yeah. We have 2 products in development, so knock on wood, no.
I love it, though. This is so, you know, you're really running this like a true entrepreneur. You're getting all the feedback. You're investing in the right things, taking those calculated risks. I love it. I think it's really, really exciting, because a lot of people with, you know, e-com products, they're kind of just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And this isn't like that at all. You're really, this has become a true, you know, business for you. I love it.
Yeah. I think, like, a lot of people, when they run e-com, they run it as just throwing products up there and hoping people buy, versus like, my goal, I'm building a brand. And so people search for Dude Woof on Amazon. They search for Dude, like, they specifically want to buy the product. And there's a lot of benefits to that. One, I'm not in a price war with anyone else because people specifically are searching for the brand. And 2, I can continue releasing products to the same customers, and they trust the brand and they want to keep buying, versus constantly needing to acquire new customers because I'm just randomly throwing products out there.
I love it. It's so smart and strategic. What does it look like financially for you now? I mean, it's been a couple years in this journey. So are you guys cash flowing now? Do you feel confident with that?
Yeah. So first year we did 600K, and then this is the second year, and we're probably going to end at like 2 mil this year. So it's
amazing.
It's going. It's moving and grooving.
Congratulations. I want to ask, year 1 going from 600K to year 2 going 2 million, what helped make that jump? Was it just natural growth, or did you do something different from year 1 to year 2?
A couple things. The first is the product that I have is a consumable. And so I put a really big emphasis on putting people on subscribe and save, so that I definitely recommend, if you're launching a product, especially the first one, do a consumable so that you can do this. And then also I launched a new product this year, which was a doodle shampoo. So that also helped with growth. And then just doubling down and doing now someone on my team is doing the same exact things that I was doing when I first started. It's just at a larger scale. We have paid ads running and more products and more people on subscribe and save.
Hey, it's Isabel from Young Boss, and if you are struggling in your business and want to talk to a consultant who's been there, done that, listen, I'm your girl. I've got consultations available right here in the show notes or on our website at theyoungbosspodcast.com. Go check it out and schedule a call so we can connect on how to improve your business, enhance your team, even scale. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm here to help you with it. Go schedule, and I look forward to talking to you. Now, back to the show.
Are you proud of what you've done? How has life changed?
Oh my God, it's completely changed. Like, my life just has so much more freedom now, and it's so much more fun. But the other thing is it's kind of funny, because every day, like, I'm still kind of guessing, right? When I launch a new product, I'm like, what should I price it at? I guess this makes sense. So it's funny to think, because you think about all these other big brands.
That's amazing. I think I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like I always say entrepreneurship is like shining a mirror up to all of your strengths and weaknesses, and they get shined right back at you, and you're like, oh. But it is a fun journey. Have you been building a team, or is it just still you and Oliver?
It's me, and there's someone else on my team as well.
Okay. Okay, cool. Do you want to like have a bunch of team, or you want to keep it small, keep it tight?
Right now, we really don't need anyone else. Like the other person on my team, she runs most of the day-to-day stuff. So I'm able to, like, I think we can grow this to an 8-figure business with us two and some contractors. We have some good systems in place. And especially with AI, like we try to automate what we can. Nothing with the customer experience. All the customer touch points are manual just by design. But on the back end, we really try to optimize and figure out like learn what the news trends are with AI, et cetera, and how to make our lives easier. Like I will pay for anything if it makes mine or my teammates' life easier. And that's why I think we can scale.
I love that. And I think obviously the smaller you can keep it while scaling and growing, the better off you are, less drama involved. And if you can wear those hats and make it happen, that's more power to you, girl. I love it. What do you think has been your biggest personal growth moment, through this journey?
I think that the hardest part is personal growth wise, the hardest part is your mindset when you're first starting out, because you're essentially you're creating content, you're trying to start this business that you feel like nobody cares about, nobody's listening, etc. And so it takes basically training your brain to believe in yourself, because you don't have any other indicators, and you don't have any data points from anywhere else that what you're doing is actually going to work. So it's really just you having to believe that this is something that will grow and that you can trust yourself to continue showing up every day. And so I did that, and so many times I almost wanted to fail or wanted to quit. But by pushing through that, I truly believe that I can do anything that I put my mind to, because I've seen it. I've already seen it happen. And I never thought I'd be in this place. And so seeing that I truly think that anything that I put my mind to, I can accomplish.
That's beautiful. How has your family been during this journey? Your friends and family, have they been supportive? Were they like, you are crazy for making this leap?
Luckily my family, they just always believe in me and support me. So I don't know what they actually thought deep down, but externally, like my mom and my dad, I don't think they really know what happened and how this all came about, like understand it, but they were always just by my side and I could talk to them. Same with my friends pretty much. So I kept to myself a lot in the beginning, because I didn't really know what to share. I didn't really feel like there was nothing really to share in the beginning. I just needed to heads down, keep it to myself. But I would ask them, be like, hey, can you follow me? Can you like these posts? Can you do this? And they would do it. So
that's good. I think that's a lot of time what happens is in the beginning, entrepreneurs are like not sharing a ton because they're like, well, what if this fails? And I don't want to be like, oh my gosh, this is my new thing. And then it's not. So it's almost easier to stay to yourself. Yeah. But then once it's getting kind of bigger, then you're like willing to share and be more open. Have you found yourself like a mentor or someone along the way who's helped you with this? Or have you really stayed kind of isolated?
So that book that I read, it was in the beginning, it was about e-commerce. And so it's called 12 Months to 1 Million by Ryan Moran. And I read the book, ended up joining his community. He lives in Austin. We ended up becoming friends. Then we did a podcast together, and now we're so he's a very good mentor. And I've also met people just from joining his community of other e-commerce entrepreneurs. And I definitely, when you're starting out, if you can make the investment, usually it's not free, and that's totally fine to pay for relationships. That's part of it. But you get having other people that are doing the same thing as you, because most likely your friends aren't doing the same thing as you. And so even if it's online, having a community of people that are understanding this part of your life, there's going to be times where you're going to feel like I want to give up, and having people be like, hey, I see this in your business. I see this is where it's going. And they can see it from another perspective is instrumental. So I would recommend 100% everyone join a community.
That is really cool. And how fun that you were able to not only meet him, but befriend him and then, have that relate. Like, that's amazing. A lot of people will read, a book and be like, oh, wow, I wish. But you're like, no, that's part of it is go connect yourself, go get invested, go, put yourself in those spaces. So that's really cool.
I know. He was at his birthday party like 2 weeks ago with 15 people. And in my head, I'm like, I literally found him because his book is one of the top Amazon books. And I'm like, that's just insane,
That's amazing.
Just insane.
But also, I'm sure he's really proud of you because you are an exact example of what he teaches and what a success, for him to be able to point back to you and say, look, what I teach works, follow the steps and make it happen.
Yep.
I love it. What do you think is next for Dude Woof?
So Dude Woof, we have a couple products in development. So continuing, always going to be a brand for doodles because I already have the doodle customers, doodle market. So continuing to ask them what the next products are. And then also building like a personal brand on the side, which I'm also excited about because literally nothing that I did is rocket science. And so like I mentioned, my life has completely changed and it's legitimately so possible for everyone.
That's cool. So as a founder branding a personal brand, that's awesome. Are you going to teach people kind of how to do what you do, maybe with other products?
Yeah, I've been talking about I've been making short form content and it's very funny because it feels like I'm building a brand from the beginning again. And it's funny because it's the same exact steps as I would to build Dude Woof. I'm using now putting out as much value as possible online, getting people on an email list. And I don't have a specific plan for it, but right now I have so much stuff in my head and that I know that can change people's lives because it literally changed my life that I'm trying to dump it out into the world right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I do think that there is something for everyone. I love the journey you shared that so many people go, I think, at it the opposite way where they say I love this, I needed this, I wanted to solve this problem. And then this is how this launched. And yours was almost like, I'm set to be an entrepreneur. So what are the answers to those questions? Let's make it happen. And I think it's really cool to be able to say that. And I think there's a lot of people right now in the world who are like, I want to make more money. I want to run my own thing. I want freedom. I want happiness. All these things you're saying you have. That's a huge market. A lot of people would be very curious to learn from you and be able to do what you did.
And they deserve it,
Yep. Okay, tell me, our show is called Young Boss. You are a young boss. Do you think youth is a pro or a con in business?
Youth is a pro in both. Is that an answer? Both?
Yeah, tell me.
One thing that it's a pro in is that you definitely stand out. And so, especially, so I'm 29, but I look like I'm 25. So people assume I'm just way younger. So I definitely know that in the vicinity of what people are talking about in this space, I stand out. It's a con because you have a little bit less trust because you're not necessarily an expert or people don't see you as an expert, but so that's about, you have to either brand yourself as you're not an expert and you're figuring things out, as an underdog mentality, or you have to prove that you are an expert.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's fair. And from what you described to me, I feel like you kind of did market yourself as an underdog.
I did. I'm not a doodle expert, but I am a doodle owner and I'm a health nut and I'm only putting top of the top ingredients on my dog. And it's not fair that they didn't exist.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And I think that is exactly the thing. If you are young and running a business or, starting something new, what you said has such, weight to it that, hey, either you have to prove it, you got to really have the numbers, really have everything ready to go, or why fake it? Why fake it? Don't fake it. Either you have it or you don't. And if you don't, lean into I don't, but here's why I'm here. Here's what I'm looking for, and ride that train because people will jump on that train just as much as they will the proof of concept train.
Exactly. People love to root for the underdog.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited for you and everything that you have up ahead. All of our listeners, if they want to buy the product or learn more about what you guys are doing, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can connect with me at ecom with Elina on Instagram. And if you want to check out the product, Dude Woof Co, DoodWoofco on Instagram as well.
Awesome. We'll put it in the show notes. So make sure to go like, follow, and buy some product, especially all of our Doodle owners listening.
Yes.
Thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Young Boss with your host, Isabel Guarino. Be sure to like, share, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, your youth is your power.